this webinar. Uh, I'll be talking about my research on protein, a tiny molecule which is expressed in your brain, and how does it contribute towards mental health. So I'm Pragya, and I'm working in Pilani and the Department of Biological Sciences. So we will be talking about the importance of these receptors in brain regions which are vital for cognition, memory, and attention tasks. That is, which is shown in the red in the rotating brain, which is known as the prefrontal cortex. Towards your left is the ribbon diagram of these ion channels. These proteins are nothing but the ion channels. When they bind to the neurotransmitters, acetylcholine causes flux of cations inside the membrane. So this is my scientific tree. I have done my MS and PhD in neuroscience and mental health, and I have pursued in the same research area in Sick Kids Hospital under supervision of Mike Salter, and then I moved to McGill to work in preclinical model of Huntington disease. So our representation of the world around us and ourselves depends upon the proper functioning of billions and billions of the neurons which are expressed in your brain, and they are actively involved towards the maintenance of homeostasis, and that occurs through many neurotransmitter system. And one such neurotransmitter is acetylcholine, and acetylcholine binds to acetylcholine receptors. They are called nicotinic because nicotine, which is found in the tobacco smoke as the addictive component, also binds to these tiny proteins and causes these receptors activation. Where are these neurotransmitter or chemicals released? They are released from one neuron to the other through chemical neurotransmission at synapses, which are nodal point of communication between two neurons. So a proper brain functioning and a proper information flow depends upon proper functioning of cholinergic neurons, which constitute one of the neurotransmitter system in the CNS. Why alpha-7 matters for mental health? Because it has unique properties. Once these channels are activated, they causes flux of cations like calcium and sodium inside the membrane with efflux of potassium outside. This calcium forms a very important second messenger transduction molecule, and this is vital for synaptic plasticity and transmission, which are important part for neuronal processing. They are expressed in the regions of the brain important for learning and memory, and they also crosstalk with other glutamate receptors like the NMDAR types. Now, when they become downregulated, the cholinergic neurotransmission is impaired and is being observed in a myriad neuropsychiatric disorders like schizophrenia and neurodegenerative disease like Huntington disease. And that is one of the reason alpha-7 receptors has been a very attractive therapeutic target for bioceutical companies. So, when there is an impairment in alpha-7 signaling, what this molecular impairment can actually lead to some behavior impairments on neuronal circuitry is affected, information flow is affected, the cationic transduction pathway is affected. So that leads to impaired social behavior, impaired working memory, there will be attention deficits, aggressive behavior will be seen, and severe sensory inhibition will be observed in neuropsychiatric disorders like schizophrenia. So basically, these receptors here, it is five subunits forms of functional receptors, and here is one subunit which has been represented here. So impaired signaling from a molecular level can lead to impairment in the synaptic flow and communication in the CNS. So what we do? So I work on major ion channels, dysfunction neurological disorders. We are focusing on mainly excitatory ionotropic receptors. And what we did, we look into the function and expression of these alpha-7 receptors, which are tagged with these fluorescent protein. We chemically transfect them using lipofectamine in human embryonic kidney cell line. We make sure that these receptors are transfected well. We look under the fluorescent microscope, and then we do single channel recording. What does that mean? There's a sophisticated instrument called Patch Clamp Electrophysiology where we can map the ionic influx through one single ion channel as represented towards the down here, right figure. So from the bright field mode, we go to, we use a green filter to look into these fluorescent receptors. We use a small glass micropipette to target these receptors under in vitro conditions. We lower under the objective. We use extracellular fluid, which is high in potassium and low in sodium to mimic the normal physiological solutions. And then we do the recording. The cell goes from a megaohm to gigaohm immediately. So this alpha 7 story has been going on for a while, where I have looked into these assembly expression and nicotine induced upregulation and how this chaperone protein modulates different cholinergic receptor subunit. I have also looked into the post translational modification of alpha 7 by different family of protein kinases. Then I have in bits particularly, I have shown that if there is a proper and correct time and dose dependent interference of simple nutraceutical like vitamin D3, it shows an antioxidant and neurotrophin enhancer property in a preclinical model of Huntington disease. Later, we showed that this nutraceutical intervention holds tremendous fidelity in different neurological disorders, and targeting neuronal alpha 7 can restore some of these deficiency. Very recently, we have shown that D3 nutraceutical can ameliorate some of the behavior and inotropic receptors alteration and synaptic proteins impairment in a pharmacological induced mouse model of schizophrenia. So this is work which is presently going in my lab, and we are still continuing the alpha 7 story. Why does this matter, and why does my work make sense? Because we are aging and we want to go for a healthy aging, not a pathological aging. The communicable diseases will be going low in number and low in percentage in the coming 3 or 4 decades, and it will outpass the cardiovascular diseases. We are not claiming that this is a panacea or a magic bullet, but a right intervention can restore some of the abnormal functionality of the neurons. And one way it is through the enhancement of the cholinergic neurotransmission and alpha 7 upregulation. What we want to put here, that if we do these intervention at the correct time, we might not cure the disease, but we can lessen the severity by fostering brain health. It can, when we are targeting cholinergic neurotransmitter, it can restore some of the neuronal information flow. It can help you think better, specifically in age-related neurological disorders. But it will be oversaid that only targeting alpha 7 alone will not be sufficient for treating complex mental health disorders. I'm very thankful for all my funding agencies, specifically Government of India, ANRF, Department of Biotechnology, and extremely grateful to my lab members. And recently, I've been last year awardee of NCAM EBRO grant. So thank you so much for watching this webinar, and have a great day.